Hey there, it is Brandon Kane reporting from training camp. We have just wrapped up here and the players are signing autographs, and it was a very fun practice, lively, good energy on both sides of the ball. Defense made some plays, offense made some plays. It wasn't really easy to say that there was one side of the ball ahead of the others, and of course we don't have the pads yet. We don't have them, really getting physical in there, so it sometimes does get exactly hard to tell where the rep was one or where it wasn't one, especially when you have quarterbacks at times on the 7-on-7 where they'll hold the ball for a really long period of time, and you go, okay, in the game you're not going to get that amount of time, you're going to get sacked by that point, and then they throw a 50-yard route down the field. You go, okay, you completed it, but in real time that wouldn't be completed. Still, I thought that Geno Smith, as many have heard already in the early parts of training camp, certainly looks ahead of the other two quarterbacks by a large degree. Geno was on it in the details. His throws were accurate, on time for the most part, willing to push the ball down the field, where at times you see a guy in Sam Howell who is willing to sometimes take the check downs, sometimes take the easy route that's there. When he's looking to try to push the ball down the field, there's a sense of tentativeness and not just letting it rip. Say nothing of the fact that you oftentimes weren't seeing there being accuracy on those balls where Sam Howell was trying to push it down the field. Defensively, Uchenna Nwosu looks back and strong and ready. Again, there weren't pads on this, so you're only trying to read what you can off of just them sort of patty caking a bit. But he got in the backfield a couple of times. He probably had one sack. I think Derek Hall also had another play where he would have had a sack on a play where he got in the backfield as well. The defense looked good today. The defensive fronts were where it really stood out when you really locked in on those, and that these guys were playing a lot of different fronts. You might see, for instance, a guy like Mike Morris that many have wondered if he's going to play on the inside or outside. He'd have snaps where he was playing inside. He'd had snaps where he's playing outside. There'd be snaps where he'd have Boye Mafe off ball, like a will linebacker coming up there as a blitzer. Very inventive, very creative. But every single time you saw the defensive line come up, it felt like you got a different defensive front, and you can absolutely feel how that does confuse the quarterbacks when they come up there to try to figure out what is going on the defensive line, and as they're trying to make adjustments around it. Offensively, a lot of formation movement, a lot of readjustments and changes prior to the snap to get the defense to try to show its hand a little bit. Was very, very interesting in that spot of it. There isn't going to be a ton that you can tell on this kind of stuff because, again, there isn't them in pads. But overall, everybody looked good. Tyler Lockett had a great touchdown catch where he was falling down, got his toes down in the back of the end zone. Bobo almost had another one. It was really nice watching some of these drills where they're working on the back shoulder throw fades. So they're working on the back shoulder throws. They're working on those routes that in recent history have given us problems at times. And so it was nice to see them making it a point of emphasis in this camp. There was a couple plays down there to DK, for instance, where they were going to throw the fade. The corner knew the fade was going to come, but they're still going to try to compete it and still going to try to make it work. So a lot of working on some spread concepts too, a lot of short routes and just quick cut routes that you could see, which was really nice. And just able to make it roll today. So it was a good day of practice. Nothing truly anybody was one standing out. Byron Murphy looked good inside from the defensive line. He was able to get penetration a couple of times. But otherwise, strong day of practice. No major injuries with the exception of Draymond Jones, who went down in a drill and then went off onto the side, and they stretched him out a little bit. He stood back up, took his shirt off. He was done for the day. So that was the only real notable injury on the day. But a great day of camp. I'm going to be back here again tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that here on Saturday. Hopefully we'll see you guys there soon. And hopefully this is just another step for our Seahawks on their way to having a great, great season. My name is Brandon Kane. Please hit the like button, please subscribe. But don't you ever forget, go Hawks.